Imagine trusting someone completely, never once questioning their loyalty. Betsy Faria did, and it cost her life. At the funeral, her closest friend wept. She hugged the grieving husband. She told police she feared this would happen. But she was lying, because the woman everyone trusted, the woman who called herself Betsy's best friend, was the one who stabbed Betsy Faria to death. And somehow, she convinced police to arrest the wrong man. This is the shocking true story of Pam Hupp, a woman who manipulated an entire investigation, framed an innocent husband, and nearly got away with murder for $150,000. But what finally exposed her was another killing. Stay with me, because this case doesn't just reveal a murderer, it exposes how the system was misled. December 27, 2011. Police arrived at the Faria home in Troy, Missouri. Inside, Betsy Faria lay on the living room floor. She had been stabbed dozens of times. This wasn't random violence, it was overkill. Her husband, Russ Faria, had just returned home from a game night. He called 911, his voice shaking, repeating, "My wife, my wife." He told officers he had been with friends all evening, and that part was true. Phone records placed him miles away. Multiple witnesses confirmed he never left. Timestamps aligned with his story. Everything supported his alibi. And yet, investigators focused on him almost immediately. Why? Because someone had already shaped the narrative. Pam Hupp. Just days before the murder, something changed. Betsy altered her life insurance policy. She removed her husband and named Pam Hupp as the sole beneficiary, $150,000. Pam told police Betsy was afraid of Russ. She claimed Betsy confided in her, that she believed her husband might kill her. But there was no evidence to support that claim, no threatening messages, no police reports, no history of abuse presented in court, just Pam's testimony. And it was enough. In 2013, Russ Faria sat in a courtroom listening as prosecutors described him as violent and controlling. Pam testified confidently. Jurors watched her cry on the stand. Russ stared straight ahead as the guilty verdict was read. Life in prison. As deputies led him away in handcuffs, he turned to his family and said, "I didn't do this." Pam walked out of that courtroom free. With the money, Russ spent his first night in prison in a concrete cell under fluorescent lights. He had lost his wife. Now he had lost his freedom. Outside prison walls, questions began to surface. Pam was the last person to see Betsy alive. Her timeline didn't fully match phone records. She had remained near the home longer than she originally claimed, but investigators had already locked onto their suspect. Tunnel vision set in. Evidence that didn't fit was minimized. Then in 2015, Russ's conviction was overturned. Key testimony had been excluded. Critical evidence had not been properly presented. When Pam's story was examined again, carefully this time, inconsistencies became impossible to ignore. The wrong man had been imprisoned, and the real killer was still free. If Pam Hupp had stopped after Betsy's murder, exposure might never have come. But in 2016, 911 was called again. A man had been shot inside her house. His name was Louis Gumpenberger. Hupp claimed he had attacked first. She said it was self-defense, but investigators noticed immediate red flags. Louis was disabled. He had been lured to her house with a fake job offer. In his pocket was a handwritten note describing a kidnapping plot, one that suspiciously benefited Pam. The scene appeared staged. Investigators began to see a pattern. This wasn't self-defense. It looked like another attempt to frame someone else. This time, authorities didn't accept the story at face value. They dug deeper, and the pattern of manipulation became undeniable. Pam Hupp was arrested. What makes this case chilling isn't just the violence, it's the manipulation. Pam inserted herself into the investigation from the beginning. She positioned herself as helpful, cooperative, grieving. She spoke with confidence, and confidence can be mistaken for credibility. Investigators developed tunnel vision. Once they believed Russ was guilty, every piece of evidence was filtered through that assumption. This case became a stark example of confirmation bias inside a criminal investigation. One narrative, repeated with enough certainty, nearly destroyed an innocent man's life. Russ Faria eventually walked free, but he lost years. He can never recover. Betsy Faria lost her life, Louis Gumpenberger lost his life, and Pam Hupp believed she had engineered the perfect crime. But her need to manipulate again is what finally exposed her. And the question remains, if she hadn't killed a second time, would the truth about Betsy's murder have ever come out? Or would an innocent man still be sitting behind bars?